Hello everyone and welcome back to 30 years of Jurassic Park, a celebration of 30 years of our favourite film and a closer look at the actual paleontology of the dinosaurs present in the first film, thanks to information from our friends at Everything Dinosaur. Today we're looking at the Gallant Gallimimus, an ornithomimid which is most well known on screen for running away from the Tyrannosaurus Rex. A handful of Gallimimus can be seen in the lake scene in Jurassic Park, although they are seen much more closely in the sequence with the Tyrannosaurus Rex where Lex, Tim and Grant take cover behind a fallen tree trunk as a herd of Gallimimus flock in their direction, attempting to escape the Tyrannosaurus Rex. In Jurassic Park, the Gallimimus has a light brown colour scheme with some almost white highlights and also darker striping. Industrial Light and Magic used actual real-life reference material in the form of people moving in a Gallimimus manner to try and recreate these animals. Ty Ruben Ellingson explained that during one of these sessions, he actually tripped, and this was later used to inform the Gallimimus tripping before it is eaten by the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Ornithomimids like the Gallimimus often make many of us think of birds like chickens or turkeys, with the animal's name literally meaning chicken mimic. We asked the team at Everything Dinosaur to tell us a little bit more about the Gallimimus. Gallimimus is known from extensive fossil material, excavated from Upper Cretaceous sediments of the southern Gobi Desert of Mongolia. At an estimated 450 kilograms and measuring around 6 meters in length, it is the largest ornithomimid to have been described to date. Although the hind limbs and forelimbs are proportionally shorter when compared to smaller ornithomimids, Gallimimus was a fleet-footed cursorial theropod. It probably used its speed and agility to avoid predation from Tyrannosaurus, such as the Koval Tarbosaurus. How fast could it run? That remains an area of controversy, but the speeds indicated in the famous "They're Flocking This Way" scene from the movie would be within the parameters considered by scientists. Formerly named and described in 1972 by Osmowska et al., the genus name was erected as the neural arches associated with the cervical vertebrae, which are neck bones, reminded the researchers of the bones found in the necks of birds from the order Galliformes, such as the chicken. In the original scientific paper, which was published in the academic journal Paleontologica Polonica, apologies if the pronunciation there is awful, the scientists postulated that this dinosaur, with its proportionally longer neck when compared to other ornithomimids, may have fed like a chicken, pecking for insects and plant material on the ground. However, the diet of this toothless dinosaur remains unknown and is open to speculation. Although no evidence for feathers has been found in association with Gallimimus fossil material, other closely related ornithomimids, most notably the North American Ornithomimus, were thought to be feathered. So, most modern reconstructions do depict Gallimimus as a feathered dinosaur. Several fossil specimens representing individuals of different sizes have been found in a single bone bed. This suggests that these dinosaurs were indeed social and that they lived in groups. The depiction of a flock of Gallimimus moving together to avoid predation with juveniles at the centre of the group, as seen in the film, is entirely plausible behaviour associated with this species. That is awesome. I didn't know the name actually originated from the chicken, quite literally, so some really cool information for you to digest there, guys. So now we know more about the Gallimimus, but where did this animal appear in the classic toy line, if at all? Thanks to JP Toys and Jurassic Park Wiki, we can take a closer look at where these animals are found in the collectible lines. We first find the Gallimimus packed in with the Wave 2 figure of Ian Malcolm. The animal here features unique blue highlights, something which isn't seen in the film but does make an appearance on the Kenner toys, perhaps with designers thinking the animal needed a more contrasting secondary colour. At the more traditional scale, the electronic Gallimimus appeared in Wave 2 of the classic toys, also featuring a much more vivid colour scheme than the one seen on screen. The animal also features several distinct differences from its on-screen counterpart, most notably the elongated snout. Modern collectors can currently get their hands on the Hammond Collection Gallimimus, an interesting super articulated take on this classic dinosaur. When we caught up with Mike from Everything Dinosaur during the concept stage for this series, he mentioned how ornithomimids like Gallimimus can be difficult to portray in toy form, so we were excited to see some of the other toys that are out there. Mike did say that ornithomimids are significantly underrepresented in the toy model market due to the fact that they are notoriously difficult to manufacture. Their anatomy is a massive problem, with long tails, thin legs, long necks and small heads making a combination of characteristics that can raise a number of issues when it comes to a production process. It's also important to consider the end use in that a dinosaur model needs to be robust, creative, and able to be used in imaginative play, so a small Gallimimus figure, as an example, could easily be broken, and even a 1/40 scale figure of a Gallimimus based on an adult animal around 6 meters in length would only be 15 centimeters long, and the model's ankles would only be a few millimeters thick. If a manufacturer is going to create a reasonably accurate model with the correct limb proportions, then it's likely to have stability problems. On an uneven surface, such as a bedroom carpet, the figure is probably not going to stand up, so a model maker may end up considering the use of a base, but commercially, dinosaur models on bases generally don't sell as well as models without. For instance, Collector added bases to their Struthiomimus figure and the distantly related Collector Deluxe Bechelong, both of which were introduced in 2016. These two figures are rare and difficult to obtain and only likely to be stocked by a specialist retailer such as Everything Dinosaur. I would recommend them, try to track them down, so it's cool to see that there are some awesome figures out there. And Mike said that with the Gallimimus itself, the appearance of this dinosaur in Jurassic Park back in 1993 prompted Batat to add Gallimimus to the Boston Museum of Science range in 1994 or thereabouts. The Batat figure doesn't sport dinosaurs, although in their defence, although feathered theropods have been speculated for decades, it was not until 2 years after this model was introduced that the first definitive fossil proof of feathers in a theropoda lineage, not directly ancestral to modern birds, was widely reported, that being the Sinosauropteryx. I definitely did not say that properly. The Boston Museum of Science Gallimimus has been out of production for a very long time, and it's extremely rare. Over the last 30 years, very few models of Gallimimus have been made. However, Schleich have introduced a Gallimimus figure this year. While Schleich may not be regarded as a producer of highly accurate dinosaur models, the Schleich Gallimimus is covered for the most part in a coat of shaggy feathers. The arms are feathered, and there is the hint of a tail plume, and the anterior portion of the beak is quite broad and rounded. The figure is stabilised by having the left hand resting on the floor, giving this dinosaur a tripodal pose, stability being achieved by having 3 parts of the model and the 2 back legs and front left limb in contact with the ground. 30 years earlier, Batat solved the Gallimimus stability problem in the same way by having their Boston Museum of Science figure rest its left hand on the ground, so it's cool to see a little bit of lineage in these model dinosaurs. We hope you have enjoyed a closer look at the Gallimimus, also known as the T-Rex's dinner in the first film. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode, and come back at the same time next week where we dive into a giant of the big screen, the Brachiosaurus. Massive thanks to Everything Dinosaur for supporting this series. Make sure to check out their website at www.everythingdinosaur.com.